bright new day. Welcome, everybody, to the Daily Antidote of Song. Another day of magic, y'all. I'm Kathy Bullock coming to you from Berea, Kentucky, welcoming all of our Facebook friends, YouTube, everybody, all our fabulous family who are here in Zoom. Yes, we are about to have another special treat. I can't wait. So, first thing I have to do is to welcome all of those fabulous folks who are here with us in Zoom. And by the way, YouTube, Facebook, anybody watching us, if this is your first time, don't let it be your last, y'all, because we jam like every day. 7 days a week for this is day 1,223. Oh my God. Woo! Every day of the week. Let me start with welcoming Joe Rossi, our fearless leader, coming to us doing our tech and making all this fabulosity work. That's my new word, fabulosity. We have a special guest all the way from the British Isles, Katy Carr, and I will talk about her in just a second. Welcome Kathy in Virginia, Deborah in Kentucky down the road from me, Dally in Maryland, Pauline and Dad in Newcastle, Amanda, woo-hoo! I love that, what you have. Hey, Miles, there he is, bubbly and full of love. Ricky from Vermont, welcome. Julie in Ontario, Susan G in Ohio, Arlene in Berkeley, Cricket in Maryland, hey, Sheila in Florida, Cox in Vermont, Alaris in UK, Bonnie in Boise, Karen in Oregon, Storm, Bob in Albany, Kevin, hey, you're looking good in New Hampshire. My screen, Caroline with your beautiful cat, Susan Miller in Seattle, Gary in Massachusetts, Kathleen in Albuquerque, and in Silver Spring. Let me see. I'm trying to switch my screen and it has these. Oh, there you are. I think I already said hi to Sheila in Florida. Karen in Oregon, did I say hey to you? Okay, let's see. Kathy in Colorado. Jamie, welcome to another beautiful day. And Mabel with her lovely bear in Massachusetts. Now, they don't have their video on, but joining us is Moon and Lynn and Marjorie and Carolyn in D.C., Hoda, Phil and the gang in Totnes, Sandy in Western North Carolina, Bob on his iPhone, Aloysius, and Bob in Albany. Woo! It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Yes! Woo! Take a deep breath because we can. Breathe out, everybody. Breathing in, breathe out. Guess what, y'all? We have Katy Carr with us here from the British Isles. Now, this is not her first time to Daily Antidote of Song. I think it's time number 3. Isn't she fabulous looking in all her red and white, baby? If I had known, I would have gone and put mine on too, but that's all right. She is a British songwriter specializing, she has Polish roots, and one of her projects has been doing songs related to Poland during World War II. She's going to share songs and talk with us about that experience. And this is a really special time. Thank you for joining us, Katy. Everybody join me in welcoming Katy. Take it.
Thank you so much for having me. What a wonderful introduction, and thank you so much to Joe and Kathy. Wonderful. I'm so honoured and really fantastic to be here with you all. Yes, I am a British songwriter here, based in London, and I have Polish roots. And for the last 3 albums, so I've made 6 albums, and the last 3 albums have been inspired by the Second World War experience in Poland, which has been was a very, very tough and brutal time for the people living in Poland. So today I'm going to sing a song inspired by um, uh, one part of that experience. So, in order to just give the background for this song, in 1939, on the 23rd of August, Hitler and Stalin signed a pact to steal Poland, basically, cut it in half and steal half of it for Germany, half of it for Russia, and within those sections of Poland, when the first of September 1939 happened, Germany attacked Poland and stole half of it. And on the 17th of September 1939, the Soviet Union, Russia attacked the other side of Poland and stole that half of it. My song Red Red Rose is inspired by the 2 million Poles who were kidnapped from their homes at very, very difficult times of the day, some at 4 o'clock in the morning, and they were thrust. They had to leave all their homes behind, they had to leave all their possessions, and they were thrust into this slave trade of Stalin called the gulags. And Stalin had over 3,000 gulags in Siberia, but the West doesn't really know about the gulags very much. But obviously, in the last year, where we've been seeing Russia's war in Ukraine, more and more of information about this terrible theft of people has been coming to light. So my song Red Red Rose is inspired by those people who were transported to Siberia. Yes. Would you like me to teach you some song, a little bit of the song? Yes. Okay. Well,
Yes, yes, yes.
the song itself is from a recording that I made for my album Passport, which is inspired by those people who lost their right to have a Polish passport during the Second World War. And when war happens and you have occupiers, so like in Poland you have Germany and Russia, your passport fails, just ceases to come into existence. Basically, everybody who owns a passport in war, if you have an occupier, this is taken away from you. And obviously, a passport for somebody is the most crucial part of their identity. So, so when these people were stolen from their homes and transported to the gulags, they went on these big trains. And in my album Passport, I have a picture that is actually created by my lovely album designer. I'll show you. Oh, can I show you that one? Those trains. Where can I show you that? That train. See, those trains stole people from basically for about 3,000 miles of a journey from Poland to the depths of Siberia, which, as you know, the temperatures there can be ranging to -50. So it's a very, very brutal environment. And there you see the Red Star, which is for many people a symbol of terror. So where do we start? It's a tough subject, but I thought it was something that needed to be expressed. I'm going to. Have you got the lyrics up there? Can everyone see the lyrics? I'm going to sing the first couple of lines, and maybe I could teach you that. I dreamt of your red, red rose when I knew I couldn't find my way back home. I dreamt of your red, red rose when I knew I couldn't find my way back home. So, would you like me to teach you something else in the song as well? Is something else a little bit more of the song?
Well,
Yes.
it's up to you, or you can just go on and sing it for us.
Oh, that would be great. So this repeats
Yes.
twice in the song. And
Okay.
when I recorded the song, I wanted it to be like a landscape. So there's inside the recording, there's like this kind of tension of the train tracks and the wheels of the train going round, and there's quite a. I would suggest that people go and listen to it afterwards so they can hear the drama in the song. And obviously, members of my family, the inspiration from this song has come from a personal connection. because half of my family were thrown into concentration camps, and half of my family were thrown into the gulags. And so my Polish grandfather actually was in Auschwitz. He was prisoner number 22661, and the only reason I'm here is because he escaped. So we have a lot of we have in our family, we have, like in many most Polish families, we all know somebody who's experienced this kind of slavery. So it's a very tough subject. But anyway, I shall start singing this song. I dreamt of you, red, red rose, when I knew I couldn't find my way back home. I dreamt of you, red, red rose, when I knew I couldn't find my way back home. Home, past those German soldiers, home, past those Russian soldiers. I ding under the velvet curtain, I ding under the iron curtain. I dreamt of you, red, red rose, when I knew I couldn't find my way back home. I dreamt of you, red, red rose, when I knew I couldn't find my way back home. Home, past those German soldiers, home, past those Russian soldiers. I ding under the velvet curtain, I ding under the iron curtain. The tension is so high, and I cannot reach the sky. They'll never catch me alive, I've got my bottle of cyanide. Oh, where I sing my song. 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 The tension is so high, and I cannot see the sky. They'll never catch me alive, I've got my bottle of cyanide. I saw a black, black train take my baby away, so I sing for my love, and I sing for my heart, and I sing for my love, and I sing for my heart, and I sing for my love, and I sing for my heart, and I sing for my country, and I sing for my heart, and I sing for my country, and I sing for my heart. I dreamt of a red, 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 red rose.
Wow,
So
Katie,
it's like
thank
seeing
you
Carol's
so
rose.
much. Thank you so much. This feels like a very sacred moment where we're voicing and honoring those before us who had to deal with such horrendous things happening. Thank you for bringing that story forward, letting the rest of us know and embrace you and uplifting those. Oh my gosh. Tell us more about when you say Gulag, because I'm not familiar with the story. Um, is it, how do you spell Gulag?
A gulag is Gulag,
Okay.
and they were basically stationed in the northern quarter of Russia, which was then known as the USSR. So
Hmm.
it spans a whole section. It's like a massive continent in itself. It's mainly tundra, so nothing grows there apart from maybe a few trees. Maybe they grow there. And it's and it was instead of having like the Germans, they created this whole concentration camp system. So they had Auschwitz, they had all these different, 3,000 concentration camps that were forcibly built on occupied Poland at the time and across Europe. Whereas the Soviets had a different method of killing, because obviously of murdering people, because they just had to send people to -50 and not feed them. And as I talk to a lot of members of my community, and they will say, "Well, we were sent on a holiday," because it was this in joke with the prisoners that they were sent on a holiday, as nature is their prison. So nature became their prison. It was, I mean, there were a few stories of escape, but it was pretty impossible to escape from 3,000 miles away across tundra, and where you would just freeze to death. Members of my community said that if they touched their nose, it would fall off from the frostbite, or their fingers would fall off, and children were dying on the trains. People were dying on the trains, and many people didn't even make it to Siberia. And when they got to Siberia, there was nothing. There was just this kind of crazy camp system with benches, and people were supposed to keep warm in -50, and they had jobs to do. The Soviets would put them to work in the forests, and they would have to cut down trees or log the trees for the Russian system. The state would make them, the slave labor would help the Soviet system to create, I don't know, whatever they needed. And I have spoken to many members of my community, and obviously my family, and those times have incurred a kind of PTSD within our community. Many people in my community will say have many fridges in their houses. They will never be without food. Even if the food has gone off, they'll still keep the food. I know many people who have 3 freezers in their garages, or 2 fridges in their, one fridge isn't enough. And bread is always a thing with people who survive Siberia. The older people that go to church and visit the churches, if they have a special occasion, there'll always be enough bread to give to the older members of the community, because they always want to go home with bread. So it's an ongoing trauma for our community and all the people who've experienced it. And we're not just talking about Poles, but 400 million people experienced the gulags, and the West don't really know about this because the Soviet Union and Russia refused to build a museum in honor of the victims. So whereas you'll have like the Holocaust museums across America or across Europe or across everywhere, you won't have one Gulag museum anywhere in Russia. It's banned, and anybody who tries to make a Gulag museum is thrown into a Gulag, basically, and they don't have. That's not a possibility because it's a dirty secret. But there are actually roads made out of human bones in Russia, where people have been murdered in these places. It's a
You
dreadful.
said roads made out of human bones.
Yeah, there are roads that have been made out of human bones from people who've been murdered in the gulags. It's impossible to even consider that that's a possibility, but these gulags have been going for a couple of hundred years. This isn't just a normal occurrence. And of course, with Russia's war in Ukraine, we have now witnessed 1 million children being stolen from Ukraine. So they are now in the gulags, or they're being Russified. This is a dreadful theft of people. It's a theft.
So the gulags
Yeah.
is a uh, part of the country. It's a geographic location,
Yeah, it's I don't have a map. Shall I show you?
uh-huh.
Try
and
to show you a map of Russia.
so that is where people have been sent for slave labor
Yes. So
in order
if
to.
I've got a map here. I'm trying to find something that might be able Yeah, well, it's kind of like this is the map of the world, right? This is an
Hmm.
old map of the world, but
Sure.
this is Russia, yeah,
Yes.
this here, and this is Siberia. It's massive.
Yes.
It's like a huge. You get to see it more on the internet, but it's like a massive, like it's massive. It's a continent in itself, but
Right.
it's part of Russia because Russia's a massive landmass. But most of the places, they don't see sunlight, or it's just frozen ground. It's tundra. You
Right,
can't.
because it's way north.
Yeah,
Now,
you.
tell me, how long did this last? This particular story that you are singing after World War or during World War II. How long was that process
Well,
for
this
the
is the
people?
scary bit. It hasn't actually ended. There
Oh,
are still gulags there.
what?
Um, no, we will. Yeah, no, it hasn't ended, unfortunately. But we'll say, like, to put brackets into it. So prior to the Second World War, it'd been going for about 150 years, and then I think probably before that as well. Russia has got a very deep, dark past of human slavery, and so during the Second World War, the terrible moment for Poland really was the Soviet invasion of Poland. So that's the 17th of September. So after that, but really the first proper transportation stealing of people was the 10th of February 1940. There was a little agreement in 1941 where the British and the Polish exiled government abroad made a Sikorski-Maisky agreement. So it was agreed that Stalin would let some of the slaves go. Actually, they were supposed to let all of the slaves go, but they didn't let all of the slaves to join the British troops, which is what's so remarkable about the Polish contribution in the Second World War, because these were actually ex-slaves of Stalin, and they ended up joining the They ended up joining the Polish army called the Polish Two Corps, and that fought alongside the Allied powers, so the British troops. But obviously, when they amassed together these poor starving prisoners, they either had died already en route 3,000 kilometres or 5,000 kilometres to join the British troops from Siberia to Persia, and then they were all full of lice and they were starving, and so they weren't able to be soldiers immediately. They had to be fed up, and made into men again, and taught basic war skills, and they did a remarkable job at the Battle of Monte Cassino in 1944, which is coming up to its 80th anniversary. Was
So
Polish.
tell me, are there programs, ceremonies, events that are taking place now in Poland to commemorate this particular segment of this, or is it still something that's so below the surface that you're maybe one of the few songs written about it?
Well, because it's so trauma based, and
Hmm.
because it's such a brutal topic,
Hmm.
slavery. It's impossible to put anything like that into words. I
Hmm.
did do a song called Commander's Carr on a previous Daily Antidote, um, which was about an escape from Auschwitz. But again, it's so difficult to put trauma into music. But some of the survivors have written songs,
Hmm.
and some of these songs can be over 120 years old because these gulags have been going for so long. And so the main commemoration dates for the whole topic of Siberia comes in February, and in normally around the 10th of February, but also during September, which is 17th of September, which commemorates the Soviet invasion of Poland in 1939, which many people don't really know about, because it's all been kind of hush hushed after the Second World War ended. Poland was thrown and slammed as the only Allied nation behind the Iron Curtain, which was a totalitarian communist regime which lasted nearly 50 years. So it's been a dreadful, 20th century for Poland was a dreadful affair. It's 50 years of slavery and totalitarian communist regimes and fascist regimes, and prior to that, they only had 20 years of freedom. prior to that, they were also their land was stolen by three superpowers. You know, Prussia, Russia, and Austro-Hungarian Empire for 123 years. So it hasn't been a pretty time for Poland since 1795. If we're being honest, you know, they've only had 20 years of freedom since there, and the last 30 years where you know we've seen from 1989. So there's only 50 years of freedom.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not that long ago we're talking here at
No.
all. So I would encourage everybody who's listening to us to make sure to get your recordings so we can hear the songs and then to learn more. Do
Yeah.
you have a particular website or text that you think for our listeners who would like to learn more about what's going on historically, and maybe as we move forward, what kinds of ways of outreach and support to these communities could be had?
Well, firstly, you know, anybody who emails me at info@katycarr.com, shall I write it in the chat? Basically, you're more than welcome to write to me, and I'm really happy to connect. I'm here to serve the community. I'm here to serve history. I'm here to remember those people who didn't have a voice, and and also it's a topic that just doesn't relate to my community. It relates to any community that's experienced slavery or has experienced you know, theft, of human theft. This is what, yes, exactly. So, you know, people who have experienced this within their own communities can understand that they also have PTSD, and it's an ancestral trauma that is now in our community allowed to have a voice, because, you know, with the Cold War and the totalitarian communist regime, there was a rewriting of history in Poland. You see, nobody was allowed to talk about the gulags, otherwise you were sent to a gulag. So and now, because there's been 30 years of freedom, apart from this horrific war that's on the border of Poland, which is Russia's war, this is why Poland reacted so quickly, because we understand how
You
aggressive.
understand.
Right. So
We're running out of time, but you've given us a glimpse into something that's so profound, centuries deep, profound. And while it's a story of Poland, it's a human story, and absolutely has reverberations for me certainly, thinking my history, but certainly worldwide. So I thank you for bringing that to us at this time. And as our gift, as I'm sitting here in my home in Kentucky, said, "Ooh, I got to find out about the folks and what they were going through, and support you in sharing the story and others as we move forward, because it's not till things are brought to the light, I think, that we can then address them, learn from them, and move forward empowered by the messages." So, if you would like to give us a little bit of reprieve of some of your song, please feel free to do so as we get ready to leave for today. Messages
just want
and
to sing Kentucky Rain to you, you know,
oh,
Kentucky's
okay.
going down on me. I love that song. I love that song. I just sing. So, I love Kentucky. I haven't even been there, but I love it. I love it.
Come on, come on.
Will you invite me, Kathy? I'd love to come to your town.
Oh, both Deborah and I said, come on, come on. I got spare room. She has friends. We're saying, come on today. We're ready.
I want to come to Kentucky.
You have a special invitation, Katy, because I'll be in London in October. So you have a special invitation to come this way soon enough.
Oh, and you have an invitation. I was open arms in London. My goodness, what can I arrange for you, Kathy? Wow. Wow.
Only on the Daily Antidote of Summer.
Yes,
Only.
exactly. Hooray, yes. So maybe I shall sing shall I sing it again? See how long we've got.
Okay, sure.
I start with D minor, it might help. I dreamt of your red, red rose when I knew I couldn't find my way back home. I dreamt of your red, red rose when you knew I couldn't find my way back home. Home, soldiers home, past those Russian soldiers hiding under the velvet curtain, hiding under the iron curtain. I dreamt of you, red, red rose, when I knew I couldn't find my way back home. I dreamt of you, red, red rose, when I knew I couldn't find my way back home. Home, past those German soldiers, home, past those Russian soldiers, hiding under the velvet curtain, hiding under the iron curtain. Tension is so high, and I cannot see the sky. They'll never catch me alive. I've got my bottle of cyanide. Where I sing my song, where I sing my song, where I sing my song, where I sing my song. The tension is so high, and I cannot see the sky. They'll never catch me alive. I've got my bottle of cyanide. I saw a black, black train take my baby away, so I sing for my love, and I sing for my heart, and I sing for my love, and I sing for my heart, and I sing for my country, and I sing for my heart.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Sing for my country. I sing for my heart. Sing for my country and I sing for my heart. That's my song too. That's our song too.
Cry.
Oh
Make
my
me cry,
God.
Kathy. That's
Oh
really
my God.
beautiful. Oh, I'm
Mm.
really moved. Making me cry. Oh,
A special gift, Katie, for us today.
thank the Lord.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
sharing it with the
Thank
song that has a like engaging tune you want to dance to, and the words are
you.
oh,
Yeah.
they,
It's got like an Eastern European, because they always do like the kind of like, D minor to G minor, and then
that's the way to
it's
do
really
it,
like,
girl.
yeah.
Get us dancing and then talk about it took my baby away and taking oh, what is red, red, red? Oh, Gulak. Yes. And we're going to take that message. We're going to go forward. We're going to learn from it. We're going to be thankful. Well, for me, I'm thankful now in this space right now for you, Katie,
So much.
for hearing the
Oh,
message and for being in a space where I can move forward. So, on behalf of all of us here in Zoom territory, in the YouTube, Facebook, everybody who's listening or will be listening, singing for your country, singing for your heart. We sing for our country. We sing for our hearts. Thank you. All of you have a wonderful day today. Joe, do we have any extra messages or reminders for people? Oh, we're taking this with us. I sing for my country and I sing for my heart. Sing for my country and I sing for Love to everybody on this Friday. Take it with you. Make it better when you're there than when you leave than when you came. How about that one? Thank you, Joe, for being our fabulous tech person. Woo! Thank you, Katy, for going right to the heart, reminding us human folks about just the basic things that we take for granted. Life, freedom, love, giving, sharing, heat, food. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Taking a moment, really thankful for that. Oh, thank you, Katy. Thanks, Deborah in Kentucky. We waiting for you, Katy, when you come over this way. We got you. We got you. You know what I'm
I got
saying?
Kentucky rain coming down. I want some Kentucky rain right now.
Thank you, Dally. Thank you, Pauline and Dad. Thank you, Rick. I saw you strumming along. You probably got it. Thank you, Arlene in California. Cricket in Maryland. Thanks, Cat in Vermont. Laris in UK. Oh, that's beautiful behind you. Bonnie in Idaho. Storm, my man Storm. Kevin, you looking good. I haven't seen you in a while. You're looking so good. Carolyn, always good to see you. And Gary, and just giving you love. Martha, thanks for joining us. Kathleen in Albuquerque, Ann in Silver Spring, Kathy in Colorado, Annette, thanks for joining us. And Jane in Texas, Julie in Ontario, Canada, Amanda and Miles. Oh, now it's on your head. It's just gorgeous. Good to see you, Bob, and your bear in Massachusetts. Jamie, thanks for joining us. Susan in Cincinnati. And then we have Kathy in Virginia, Moon, Lynn, Carolyn in D.C., Phil in the gang, Holda, Nancy's cow friend, Suzanne, Aloysius, and there, my folks. There's Willard and hey, and Don, is that Leanna in the background? Hey, and everybody have a fabulous Friday, full of gratitude and thanksgiving for what we have.